Welcome! My name is Lindi Haws of Love the Day, and this is a place where you can craft and DIY with printables and SVG files. Today we're going to talk about one of my very favorite holidays, which is Valentine's Day, and I am going to teach you how to make this felt and pom-pom garland with your Cricut machine and with a pom-pom maker, and let's get started. The materials you're going to need for this project are your Cricut maker, along with your fabric grip mat, your rotary blade, 4 colors of felt, 2 pieces of each color. You'll need some yarn, a pom-pom maker, a pair of scissors, tacky glue, and some twine with a needle. In order to get the file for this project, head to lovetheDayShop.com, head over to Bundles, scroll down to the Valentine's Be Mine bundle. Purchase the bundle and it will download to either your desktop or your downloads folder. Once it's in your folder, make sure that it's saved to your desktop. Mine's right here on my desktop. Once you've got the file on your desktop, we're gonna upload the scallop heart garland into our Cricut design space. So right here, I'm in Cricut design space. I'm gonna upload a new file, upload an image. And right here I have the scallop heart garland, SVG, and I'm just going to drag it into my canvas. Once it's there, I'm going to save and insert that image. The next thing I'm going to do once I'm in my canvas with my scallop heart garland is I'm going to ungroup everything. That tells the Cricut that everything should be cut separate. But what we need to do is see how there's these circle cuts in our pendant banners. What we need to do is make sure that those are attached. So I'm going to attach those, and that will tell my Cricut that that's all one piece, and those holes need to be cut inside my pendant. So I'm going to go ahead and do that to each pendant. Once those are all attached together, I'm going to press make it and see what it looks like on my preview mats. As you can see, because they're already color coded, that each mat will tell me what color everything will be printed on. And so the next thing we need to do is head over to my Cricut machine, and we're going to insert my rotary blade. I'm going to press continue. And I'm going to set my base material as felt. And I'm also going to edit my tool. I'm not using my fine point blade, which you can, although it wears the blade down really easy. Felt wears the blade down really easily. I'm going to edit my tool to the rotary blade, which is a beast and can cut felt with no problem. I will say the rotary blade only works with the Cricut Maker machine. And so if you do have a Cricut Explorer 2, go ahead and use your fine tip blade for this project. Now that all of our white scallop hearts are cut, we are going to cut out our pendant banners and our hearts. Same thing, I'm going to use my felt sheets, place it on my fabric grip mat, and let my machine do the work. Our pendant banners are all cut out, and you can see those holes have been perfectly cut, so when we string it a little later, our scallop hearts have been perfectly cut, and that works because we use that rotary blade, and then we have our hearts. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take tacky glue and we are going to layer this garland together. Alright, this is what we're going to use to glue the garland together. It's called tacky glue. It's made by Aleene's. You can get it at your craft store. What we're going to do is we're going to take our base of our felt garland. We're going to grab the scallop heart next. And we are just going to be pretty liberal with this tacky glue. And we are going to place that on our base, that pendant banner. And after we've done that, we'll grab the smaller heart and do the same thing, and we'll layer that on top of the scalloped heart. Okay, why I love tacky glue, it's super strong. It also is not toxic. It bonds the fabric together, or the felt together, really well, and it dries clear. And so it may look, you can see in the video, it kind of looks clumpy when you first put it together, but it will end up drying clear, and I really appreciate that. Now that all of my pendants are glued together, you can see they're darling, they're layered, they have a lot of texture. I'm going to set them aside, and I love the idea of putting a pom-pom in between each of those, so when it's strung, kind of has that pop of extra color and some more dimension. So I'm going to show you how to make a pom-pom. I am using this pom-pom maker. I got it at Michael's. I believe it's the Recollections brand. This is what it looks like, and let me show you how to do it, and let me give you some tips. So I've got some yarn. I have found that the cheaper the yarn, the better, and the thinner. Some of that like really expensive heavy yarn doesn't really work very well for pom-poms. It starts to fray, and the pom-poms can look, is spongy a good spongy? Like really fluffy, but not the good kind of fluffy. So, and it kind of starts to tear apart. So this cheap yarn, I think this literally was $1.50, works the best. What you're gonna do is start on one side of this pom-pom maker, and you're gonna take your yarn and you're gonna start wrapping around this kind of arc here. And the best thing you can do, and the best tip that I have, is to pull tight, because you don't want that pom-pom kind of being loose. You want it really full, and that works the best if this yarn's pulled taut. So make sure that you pull tight and you wrap. And then the other tip that I really recommend is to just use a lot of yarn. Some people stop, you know, once that arc is covered, but the best thing you can do is to just keep going, keep wrapping until, wrapping and pulling, don't forget to pull, until it's like almost overwhelmingly full. I'm gonna keep wrapping. We are this side is very full, it's bursting at the seams. And we're gonna move on to the other side, and we're gonna fold this over. We're gonna move on to this side of the arc and do the exact same thing, pulling tight and filling and wrapping until it's overwhelming. This second side of the pom-pom maker is totally full. I'm not sure I could wrap it anymore. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna close it together, and I'm gonna take my scissors here, and I'm gonna come along the sides and start to clip these yarn pieces apart. And because I've made it so thick, it might be a little tricky. You might have to kind of do it in layers, but just take it nice and slow, and your scissors will cut through the pom-pom. Right, once you have your sides all cut, you're going to take a string of yarn and you're going to place it around this pom-pom maker, and you can see that there's a little place for it to tie a knot around both sides, so that the two sides of the cut yarn will come together to make the pom-pom. So pull really tight, because you don't want your pom-pom and those extra pieces to have flyaways. And then once you're done, you're going to open up those sides of the pom-pom, or the pom-pom maker, pull it apart, and you have your pom-pom. Now it will be a little misshapen, and that's okay, because what you'll do is you'll take your scissors and you'll round it out to make a perfect circle, a perfect pom-pom. And you can see, because we wrapped it so many times, the pom-pom is really full, really fluffy, perfect pom-pom. Our pom-poms are all finished and we are going to string our garland together. So I just have some red and white twine. I have a really fat, thick needle that I've put through my twine, and we are going to string this garland together. So the first thing we're going to do, you can decide if you want the twine in front or in back. I kind of like it in front because it gives it that extra red and white twist. And then next I'm going to take my pom-pom and I'm going to take my needle, give it a little tug, and it will pull right through. Then we're going to continue on and head to our next pennant and continue that process. There you go. There we have it. We have our DIY felt and pom-pom garland, perfect for a mantle or a front door. Thank you again for crafting with me. It's been a pleasure. Again, my name is Lindi Haws of Love the Day. Come check me out on Instagram or on my blog, and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.